Good morning from Saratoga. We made it, Eddie.
We're here. We're here trackside. We're four-star Dave um and the Saratoga special right here live coming to you in a few hours. And we were backside earlier and now we're breaking all sorts of rules. Hopefully security doesn't rush us out of here so we can get through this pot.
So sorry we're late today, but it's a little bit more of a challenge, I think, when you're on the road. So when you're from Saratoga, you're allowed to have a late pass, and you're also allowed to have a ton of noise in the background. Everybody's doing their Saratoga stuff as we get ready for the big four-star Dave. So just want to kick it off. The first thing I just wanted to talk about, Eddie, is I wanted to talk real quick about last week's picks.
Yeah, last week, we did pretty well with our selections. Some of it was chalky, but I was adamant that Nation's Pride was my top choice of the day, and I believe morning line it was 4-1, but they bet it down to 5-2, and boy, he exploded down the stretch and made me look smart for once.
Yeah, I think we both had that one. Which was interesting last week is I'm hoping we always have different picks and different opinions. And last week we had a lot of the same opinions on a lot of the races, but small fields, a lot of these things tend to be a little chalky.
Yeah, they do, and last week I did a lot of homework looking at the spot plays that we put together, and maybe that's why we had a lot of similar picks. This week I have not looked at spot plays yet, so I'm kind of just going off of notebook picks for this week.
That's coming. Spot play picks are coming later today. I will tell you that the last couple days actually have been really good day for the sheets. And again, I can't stress enough. Still get a handicap, but I think when you trust data and you match some of this stuff up and see how it compares, that's where you can win more, you can cash more, and I think you can make your opinions even stronger than probably what they are going into the day.
Absolutely, and I've talked to so many people how this has kind of been a tough meet for them at Saratoga, and I can just tell you from the last 2 days with spot plays with the sheets, I think we've had 10 winners. So as top choices, and we closed out yesterday with a $28 horse, 13-1 shot in the last race, and we also closed out on Thursday another winner as well there. So look, I'm a believer. I'd like to think that my handicapping is above average, but it's getting better and better with these sheets. And all I'll tell you is they're going to come later today again and take a look at it and incorporate it in your handicapping.
Absolutely. The last thing I'll say about the sheets that we've been sharing again at SpotPlays HRT, the other piece about the sheets is there was something that happened. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. What day did New York traffic race, Eddie?
Yesterday.
So yesterday, one of the things that was a good call out, that horse was getting hammered at the window, and that was the heavy favorite. So a lot of people were playing it, and if you look at a PP, I'll be honest with you, I had that one on top, looking at the PPs, and then when I went back to the sheets and I looked at it, I said, you know what? There's two other horses actually that stick out. There was the 2, I think, and the 3 that actually had some pretty strong numbers and were pretty competitive. And that's what made me say that, you know what? I don't think New York traffic is a lock. I think he's very vulnerable. And that was the beauty of that whole bet and how it played out. So we'll get there. What I want to get into is we got some races to cover, and we're going to do a couple of different tracks today. So we know it's a big day over in Churchill, the Arlington Million Day. And we all know, obviously with Arlington closing down, that has shifted over to Churchill Downs now. So before we get into that, there is the Beverly to talk about. Eddie, who do you like in the Beverly today at Churchill Downs?
Well, the Beverly, I believe, is a small field. It's a 5-horse field. First thing I'm going to just touch on real quick is, I'm going to hope and pray that all horses and jockeys come back safe and sound. The turf course at Churchill is under scrutiny right now. They haven't raced on it for quite some time. They canceled a lot of the turf races, for the past, I think 6 weeks or so, because they resodded it. And I've heard concerns from some trainers and jockeys out there that have been galloping their horses around the surface, and says there's still a lot of give, but let's hope that they all come back safe and sound first.
Well said.
Now, the Beverly, this is a really contentious race. I'm going to start talking about the one horse, Delica, that's Stahl and Hernandez trainer jock combination. Third off a layoff. The horse has an affinity for the Churchill turf. He's got 6 starts with 2 firsts and 3 seconds, including a second in the Grade 3 Mint Julep 2 races back. He is a speed type horse. I think speed on the conditions of the turf as it is right now may not last, so not using him. The 2-horse Family Way, really well meant horse. Brandon Walsh, Tyler Gaffleone left Saratoga to go down and ride this one. He's really run against some really good company. Tyler knows the horse well. He won the Grade 3 Orchid 3 back and was third and was second, 3 seconds in all graded races, just missing the Grade 1 New York last out by half a length to the terrific Bleecker Street in June. And he also came second to Warlike Goddess 2 back. So really well meant horse, but I'm looking for a little value in this race. The 3 Princess Great, Stidham and Giroux won a Grade 3 at Parks last out, 2 super workouts since. It's another speed type. I'm going to kind of hope that Princess Grace and Delika kind of get to a little bit of a speed duel. My pick in this is going to be the 4 Rogier. It's Brown and Manny Franco traveled down to ride it for Chad from Saratoga. And you got to note that Pratt rode this horse a few times back. So wondering if Pratt stayed here at Saratoga to ride a couple of Chad's horses, which I believe he did. But he was a disappointing 4th last out in the Diana, but he had a horrific trip. I watched the replays. He was my pick in the Diana. Really had a tough trip there. 2 solid works since. Brown and Franco are returning 32% for the past 12 months. He's my pick on top, or she's my pick on top, I should say. And then I'm going to use the 5-horse Lily Pond as my second choice. It's his first North American start for Aidan O'Brien. Johnny V jumps in the saddle for this race. He has, and by the way, all these horses have won graded stakes. He won a grade 2 in Corral last out on July 17th. Kind of a quick turnaround for a horse coming overseas, but I know the horse is well meant. He's in good form. So I'm in this race. I'm playing 4 Rogier with the 5 Lily Pond. I'll probably have a little box, but I'm going to play a healthy straight exact, and I'm going to play the 4 to win.
Okay, I think we're pretty aligned here, Eddie. I will tell you that I think your contenders here are the 5, the 2, and the 4. And when I look at the 5, the 2, and the 4, the one thing I just wanted to call out, I was looking at the Briz. So these are the races, and there was that one yesterday that happened where, at Saratoga, where it was kind of the same thing. Now, we know there's a small field here, and sometimes small fields, but you notice there's no defined early speed horse. And typically when I see that, that's where you have a lot of horses, like who's going to take the lead. Now, it looks like Delika is going to be the one that, just based on the stats and the numbers, Delika is probably going to grab the front end. The question is, where's Family Way and Princess Grace going to be? 5, I am very intrigued by this horse. So I like the 5 Lily Pond as my top pick, 5 to 2. So you see this. Listen, this is going to be pretty close, I think, when you're thinking about the odds. But the favorite here is it Rogier?
I think it's Rogier.
Rogier. So Rogier's the favorite in the race. The thing I'll tell you about Rogier, what I like, is just going off pace. Rogier is the lone presser in a race where you have no defined early speed. Sometimes those are the best bets to make. So there's no way I'm tossing that horse, but I'm 5-4-2 here. I don't think there's a lot of debate, and I won't get into a lot of details, but I'm looking at paces here, and we literally have a hornet land on the mic. So that wasn't the buzz about SpotPlays. That was a legit hornet that just landed on me, Eddie. So
yeah,
danger this job. Danger being at Saratoga.
That's what happens here. We're breaking rules and trying not to get stung.
It's all good. So, all right, let's go to the next one. The big one at Churchill today is the Arlington Million. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, I got to say and agree with some disappointment with others that the Arlington Million is not being run at Arlington. It's being run at Churchill. That's a conversation for another day because I don't want to get into the negative things here, but it kind of pains the heart a little bit.
Absolutely.
That being said, for me, I'm not going to go through the whole card here, even though it's a nice field. I'm just going to talk about two horses. Last time out, I did pick the 6 Santine in the Manhattan. Disappointed in that race. You got Brandon Walsh and Tyler combination. You always got to consider Tyler. He's been winning the jockey titles at Churchill and Keeneland left and right the last handful of years. So obviously he's comfortable there, and you gotta like him. Horse is coming off an 8-week layoff. I really like this horse. I think he needed the 8 weeks. I think he's working solidly, but I'm using him second. My top pick is Smooth Like Straight, the 4 horse. Michael McCarthy, again, Johnny V gets to jump on board this horse here. The one concern I do have with the 4 is he's got 5 seconds and 1/3 in his last 6 starts. That's after he was a winning machine prior to that. He's had a 2.5-month layoff. And again, I've said this before on the show, a long layoff like that does not bother me at all when they come back on the turf. When they come back on dirt, it's a totally different story. But it being a turf race does not bother me, especially since there should be some give in this turf. Works are super good, super, super good. There's lots of speed in this race, and the 4 being one of them. But I'm hoping that Johnny V can kind of get a hold of him, keep him right behind, just press the pace and then get first jump coming around the turn for home. So I'm going 4-6 here. I don't think there's there's a couple other horses you could use and there's value, but I'm playing this one straight like that.
Okay. And I think that's good. And I was looking at the horse I really wanted to fall in love with here, because I was looking at the information. So first off, from a pace standpoint, Field Pass,
yes,
is the 3, right? So I'm not saying the 3 Field Pass is going to win this race. What I do like, though, is the Field Pass based on pace. This horse should be in a good spot, I think, at the end. And I think with the pace factor, and obviously we haven't seen scratches yet. It's still early this morning. Looking at the pace piece of it, I think the 3 is going to be a player somewhere. So I don't know if that's the back end of the exacta or the back end of a trifecta. I am interested in this one. So I'm on the 6 here, Eddie. Actually, I like the 6. Santine with Tyler Gaff. I love Tyler Gaff. Brendan Walsh. I like the horse. I think it's got some competitive speed figures. I like the fact that the horse has, and I think out of this whole field, has some of the best breeding for the distance here. Has already won at the distance, is 1 for 1 at Churchill Downs. That's my top pick. I like the 6, and I also like the 1. And the other one here, the 1 was Set Piece with Flo. And it's more of the Flo and Brad Cox have been really good of late, especially, and I know when they were running down in Louisiana at the fairgrounds, that's typically the big connection down there. But I'm starting to see more with Flo the jockey. Obviously, they're connecting at 32%. Set Piece has raced in some really good graded stakes races. I just feel like, this horse, 4 for 5 at Churchill. So the one thing I look for, and why I'm going to give this one a shot too on the win side, horse for course, baby. So some horses just take the different surfaces more, and sucking off the layoff, coming from Saratoga, I think this one goes back home, and I think it just loves that track at Churchill Downs, and we'll see what happens. And I think possibly we can get a price there, Eddie.
So you're going with
6-1.
Isn't the 6 Santine?
Yeah. Who'd you have?
All right. Yeah. No, I had 4-6.
All right.
So 2 things in the background. You may have heard the bell signaling the 10 o'clock. You got to leave and come back in at 11. We're hoping that we don't get cuffed and thrown out, because we're going to stay. The other thing is, if you heard it, the Drifters were just playing under the boardwalk in the background, and you got to love that. We got Saratoga, we got the track in the background, we got the Drifters playing. How much better can it be?
I don't know how much better it can get, Eddie, but I did want to call out a couple things. So I'm going to give you, if you're watching the show right now, I'm going to give you a special preview that nobody has seen yet, because we haven't punched in the scratches, but I wanted to show before we jump away from Churchill what it looks like. So on paper, And this is what I'm doing. So I actually haven't done that yet this morning. When the scratches post, I'm going to go back to some of my picks and I'm going to look at this and see how it compares. But when we look at the Beverly, it looks like Delica and Rogier are some of your best competitive horses. We already said one's going to go to the front. There was no really other early speed there. The question is, can early speed stick with that horse at a mile and an eighth in the turf? So
on that turf.
So actually, running on that turf is probably like running on dirt, right?
Yep.
So that's the Beverly. And then
real quick before we leave that, Chris,
Mhm.
I want to make sure people notice why they don't see the 5-horse, because we don't have North American stats on the 5-horse in the Beverly.
That is correct, Eddie.
Because it's his first start here in North America. So, guys, this is still a work in progress. We're going to start, working and incorporating, horses that are coming over from across the pond. We're going to start incorporating some of the maiden special weights that haven't run before. So bear with us on those. So because you don't see the 5, I've already told you that the 5 is my second choice. I believe, Chris, you said it's your top choice. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these charts.
Eddie, you bring up a great point, because there was one yesterday. Actually, the winner, I think it was the second or third race, was the 2. Well, 2 was the only one that didn't show up on the board. Why? Because it was the only, I think, first-time starter in the entire field. So you have to be aware that this is the computer. This isn't a human that's pulling data. And if there's no data to provide, and like Eddie said, we're gonna look at that. And I'm gonna give you a quick shot of what the Arlington looks like. Yep, that's race 10, 11, I think it is. Here it is. Yep. We'll get there sooner or later. Here we are, right here.
Now we got Bobby Darin in the background. Come on, guys.
Play a little Sinatra for me, though, will you?
Sinatra probably come on later.
Play a little Sinatra for me. What race was the
Beverly D is the 11.
Oh, you know what?
The Arlington Million is the 11.
Never mind. You know what? I just realized I didn't. So I'm going to send that out. If you're watching it on Twitter, I'll send that out. I just realized it's the 11th, and I only have the pages printed for the 10 races. So that's
enough about Churchill. Let's get this.
Let's get to the real deal.
Let's get to the spot.
We're here, baby.
We're here at the spot.
We're here. So the first race here at Saratoga, Eddie.
It's race 4, the Saratoga Special. It's a grade 2 race. Again, I think this is a small field as well. I'm going chalky on top, but I'm bringing value underneath. So, look, this horse, the 4-horse Gulfport, you're looking at Rosario, the best big race rider. People can argue with me all they want, but the results speak for themselves. He's the top graded stakes winning jockey in the country. There's a reason for that. He also doesn't get near the mounts that the Ortiz brothers and Luis Saez gets, and that's not saying anything bad about them. He just doesn't race as much, and there's a reason for that. That I'll just let it go at that. But the 4-horse, I mean, this horse is just really thought of highly, very talented. He's 2 for 2, and he's romped under wraps in his 2 races by 7 lengths and 12 1/4 lengths. Sorry, the tractor's getting ready to go behind me here, so it's getting a little loud. But yeah, I'm just going Gulfport on top here. I'm not going to box anything. I'm playing them straight and exact, and I'm using the 1 Super Chow. Has a nice price. I believe it's 8-1 morning line. It's Delgado and Saez on this, coming off its maiden win at Gulfstream. Really, really solid work since that race. I'm thinking, I'm thinking he and Gulfport, they're the speed of the race. I think the 2 of them go run and hide. I think Gulfport definitely stays on, and I'm hoping that the 1 Super Chow hangs on for second.
All right, so I gotta share this, Eddie. You're gonna like this, and again, just for the live TV, I didn't go back and compare anything yet with my handicapping, but I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about when I talk about validation. So when I look at validation for the race, I just looked at it before I even looked at the SpotPlays sheets. I was 2 Damon's Mound and 4 Gulfport.
Well, they're the 2 class of the race.
So the interesting thing, the only thing I'm a little worried about though is, 4's a front runner, 1's a front runner. So what I'm banking on is that the 1 and 2 are going to duel at the front. The 1 and the 4 duel at the front a little bit, and 2 is going to be able to get a little bit of pace to go by him. The only thing I'm worried about, it's on dirt, 6.5 furlongs. Man, it's hard to it's hard to get by, but we saw some back speed win yesterday.
We did. And again, I'm trying to beat the two. Again, I went value on the one. Hey, Chris, before you change the screen,
Yep.
talk about just real briefly. I know we're going to get into this when we do a big tutorial, an entire podcast on this, but when you look at pace visual, you see the big bubble on the two, the four's a little bit smaller, but then you got this one big bubble over on the top left corner. Just hit on that real briefly.
So the bubble size, remember, on the left-hand side, the bubble size is all about the algorithm. So is the horse in form? What are the trainer connections? Who's the jockey? Et cetera, et cetera. So again, I could bore you to death with all that stuff, but typically it's the ones that stand out. When you look at it. So when I look at the algorithm standpoint, if I was to show you the score that comes down, 2's going to have the best score here because it's the biggest bubble. It looks like the 1 is next. 4 is the 1 circle is a little bit bigger than the 4 actually. But so when you look at this, I just want to make sure everybody can see this, and I'll blow it up as best I can, but I'm looking for gaps. So it looks like 1 has the best early speed and the 1's going to be on the rail. So they're going to send. I'm willing to bet you, and this is the best part, my favorite thing about watching the races and spot plays, and I haven't covered this with Eddie, but I love looking at the early pace block, and I like watching the race live and seeing where the horses are, and you would be surprised how many times it happens where it's actually spitting out exactly like the sheet says. And then if you see something wacky, like if the 5 in this example, if the 5 was at the front end, then it's off script and it's going to the front or something's happening. That's where you're going to see something wacky happen. But you'll find out that most of these races actually run to script at the end of the day. But
and real quick, go back to the total pace, the pace visual. And for you guys, just real quick to understand this real brief, just briefly, when you look at the 1 and the 4 and it's got an F next to it, that means it's a front runner. They're the speed horses. And you look at the 2, it's got an M next to it. That means mid-pack, it can press, it can rate right behind the speed. And very, almost a versatile horse. That's what V stands for. On the 3 horse, you'll see that. But just a brief explanation on what that means.
Look at this. This is Star Wars stuff, live trackside from Saratoga. Watch this. So I want everybody, when you're doing this, and we'll go through the tutorial, I want you to train your eyes to go up first, figure out who the early speed is in the top. And then what I want you to do is remember, then take it this way and look at total pace. You'd be surprised at how many times it happens where we look at all this stuff in a PPs and we rack our brain. You'd be surprised how many times the total pace horse ends up winning a race. But so when you look at it, 2 and 4 are pretty comparable on total pace. 1's the early speed. And if you're just looking to see how that breakdown looks, it's the same thing over here. Total pace, here's your 2 and the 4. 1 doesn't really stand out there. Early speed, you see the gap. And then on late speed, it looks like it's the 4 and the 2. So I start looking for that. When you start seeing some of the same horses that are here and they're here, those are some of the best bets you're going to make. So I like what I see here on the 4 and 2, Eddie.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm hoping. I think I said I'm hoping the 1 hangs on for a slice and the 4 comes up and win. But let's move on to, and I want to tell a quick 20-second story. The 4-star Dave. It's a race 10. It's a grade 1. This morning, if you follow me on Twitter, I posted some pictures. There's a graveyard on the infield of the Clare Court training track. It's really cool, and got to see the 4-star Dave gravesite there. Had some flowers left there. Really, really cool thing. I mean, some people may not think it's a big deal, but I literally ran across the track, broke more rules like I always do, and sat there, took some pictures, and said a little something personal, and ran back out. So now we're here. So let's talk about the race. This race here, I love this horse last time out.
Which one?
The 4 horse, Mason. He's on a 2-race win streak, won the poker last out. Great work back. His last work, 1 out of 20, a 5-furlong drill at 101 flat. Again, you're looking at Brown and Pratt. Flavian is Chad's number 1 call on turf horses. There's a reason for that. Pratt has proved himself to be a top flight jock. First year here full time at Saratoga, and I think he's surprising people. First time here, it's usually a tough go round. Pratt's proven himself. So love the combination, love the horse, love that last bullet drill. So I'm picking the 4 Mason on top, and I'm going with Regal Glory, another Chad Brown horse with Jose Ortiz underneath. Regal Glory, the 3 horse, is the horse to beat in this race, in my opinion. Three straight graded stakes wins, and coming off an 8-week break, he's fresh. His works are solid. I mean, the horse is proven he's super good. He is the deserving favorite, but I'm going to try to get a little bit of money, higher price on Mason, the 4 horse. And I don't know that I'm going to box this or play an exacta 4-3 because it's going to get overbet for exacta purposes. But if I can get 2-1 or higher on Mason, I'm going to have hopefully I've had a good day prior to that and have a nice win bet on that.
Okay. And again, I'm gonna take you. So the first thing is, listen, this race is on the turf. And when I think turf, the first thing I go to is I say, okay, how many runners does Chad Brown have in the race? It's the very first thing I say.
Yep.
So I go and I look at this race, and Chad has so we know Regal Glory, the 3. Chad's got that one, and Chad's got the 4 Mason. The one thing I learned the hard way in the past couple years is if Chad has 2 horses in the race and you're playing a pick or whatever, you better cover both of them, because the one that you think is going to win typically doesn't win for me.
Right.
That's how it rolls with me. Maybe it's bad luck. I don't know, bad karma, whatever the case may be. But that's what I always find. So I don't ever just play one Chad. I play both Chads. That's the best way to go. Cover your Chads. Make sure you've got all those horses covered in the end. But so I like the 3 Regal Glory. So if I have to pick one out here, and again, I do this before the morning lines get broke and I see this. The horse is 3 for 3 at Saratoga right here. You can see the horse is coming in right behind Eddie. The horse is 3 for 3 at Saratoga, 7 for 12 at the distance, and even important 10 for 12 first or second at the distance. I think this is, I can't pick against this one. I've got to have the 3 here. And my second choice, and I'll show you this in a second, is Casa Creed. Luis Saez, I make no secret, is my favorite jockey. Eddie's going to introduce him to me at some point with what they're doing. I love.
He may have a restraining order on me as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Luis Saez has always been my favorite. I love Louis. Winner last time out. I think just from a pace standpoint, I like Casa Creed. As crazy about Casa Creed as I am the 3. No, but this is how I'm going to play it. I like the 3. I like the 1. And of course, I told you, I never leave out the other Chad Brown. So Regal Glory, Mason, and we're going to play Casa Creed. So let me see what the tote board looks like, but let me show you if I can get the SpotPlays back on here. And I think I lost my connection.
Well, while Chris tries to figure that out, I found out, first off, big shout out to everybody that's been nice to me here, all the Twitter followers and friends that I've met up and have just been very kind to me. I found out yesterday, though, I'm not the official mayor of Saratoga. That belongs to Chuck Simon at Cannon Shell. I was told by Chris DiCarlo, retired jockey, who's now an official here at Saratoga, that yeah, you're kind of the junior mayor, but Chuck is the mayor. So shout out to Chuck. But I can get you paddock passes and Chuck can't. So if you guys want to get into the paddock today, just hit me up, DM me, send me a text, whatever, and we'll meet up at the entrance and we'll go in and have a good look and have some fun.
All right. Well, evidently, oh, wait a minute. My screen just came back. Amen. So I think it came back. So I just wanted to show the SpotPlays here real quick. So come on. All right, here we go. I got it back, Eddie. I got it back. Here it is right here. So you'll see when we have a better connection, this is going to be really good. And I can't wait to do the tutorial with you because I can show some of this stuff going on. But again,
you don't like 4 horse at all.
Well, this isn't me, Eddie. This isn't me. This is the computer. We got to come up with a name for our computer. The computer says, I'm just saying.
What was the name of the computer in the movie War Games?
I don't remember, but I thought we could maybe we name our computer Sarah. Like,
You know what? Let's name it after a friend of ours. Let's name it Walter.
all right. I won't go there. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that one alone. But the computer says 1, 3, and I guess 5's good early pace, but I wouldn't. I don't like the 5. It's gonna be on the front.
You like closers, Chris. You like late.
I do.
Yeah.
I fall in love with closers. Like,
But you don't like my 4.
here's the problem. I fall in love with closers at the wrong time. Like, why am I falling in love with closers in the dirt? But we're on the turf here. I'm going closer. That's why I told you 3-1. That's my play, and it matches up with what the spot plays say. So we'll see how it goes when we get done with this here. And then the first thing I wanted to say, Eddie, is I just wanted to say thank you, because I said to you the first thing I wanted to do. My goal was this summer, one way or another. And I know we've got some other plans going on. If I can just do a show from Saratoga, that's going to put a smile on my face. And
I think I told you whether we get permission or not, we're going to get that done. And we didn't get permission today, so we're just here winging it, guys.
we are, but you know what? That's what we do. You gotta wing it sometime with everything that we got.
And I promise you, if not next week, closing week, we got a special show. Maybe we have 2 special shows coming from you here at Trackside, where we will have permission and be credentialed for it, and it'll be a fun time.
Charles, watch this. I'll see if I can pull this off. Charles says data doesn't lie.
Attaboy, Charles.
Just remember that. Remember that. So
But also remember, in the 4-star Dave, we basically have a steel cage match between the data and notebook picks, because he went 3-1 and I went 4-3. So let's see who wins this one.
well, we're wrapping up in a half hour. Just wanted to say thank you to Naira. I want to say thank you to my security friend here that we've made friends with over on the side. And thank you, ADC. And listen, thank you to all of you guys for tuning in, watching us. Hopefully we'll get some winners today. Pay attention.
And real quick, here's my goal. It's like riding the Zamboni in the hockey. I want to ride this Miller Lite watering truck or one of the tractors here. And I promise you, it may not happen this year, but it will happen, coming to you soon.
I was hoping that's I want to record that as well. But I hope you guys all have a great day. Stay tuned. The next step we're doing here is we're going to find some battery power. And once the scratches come down, which is probably if they're not out already, we'll update the sheet. We'll get you the sheet. And I want you guys to get some good winners today. Pay attention, retweet us, like us, subscribe to us. And again, have a great day.
And last thing, that's for my boy Joel. And this is for my boy Urban Handicapper. Barry Spears is here. So always great to see him and hang out with him.
Appreciate you all. Have a great day.